Mr. Johnson, you sustained quite an injury. May I ask what happened?
Nothing really happened.
Why would you say nothing happened yet you have bruises all over your body?
I had a car accident. How many times would I say this? I sustained the injuries through the accident I had last week Friday.
It doesn't really look like a car accident. It looks more like you engaged in a wrestling contest with someone. We could see the person's fist on your body.
As I said before, I had a car accident, that's how I sustained the injuries.
What about your wife? We have not seen her this morning. Is she coming today?
She is supposed to come.
The doctor said you should eat something so that you can take your morning drugs. What will you like to eat?
Why ask as if you care? Tell one of the nurses that has been assisting me to come. I don't need you around.
Is that it? See, Johnson, I am the one who is supposed to be feigning annoyance, not you. Oh, you think you married a weak woman, right? Is it because I have been enduring your nonsense? What happened last week is just a tip of an iceberg. You have really touched the tail of a sleeping lion.
Get out of here, daughter of Jezebel.
I don't blame you at all. I blame myself for coming here in the first place.
Mrs. Johnson, what happened to your husband? How did he sustain the injuries he had? It is obvious he wasn't involved in any car accident as he claimed.
Doc, if he told you that he had an accident, so be it.
From the look of things, it seems all is not well at home. We need to find out what really happened so that we can avoid a repeat of whatever that happened to him. He is badly injured.
I would suggest you ask him yourself.
Mrs. Johnson, we are women. Feel free to confide in me. It is all for the betterment of your husband. And assure you that whatever you tell me remains here. Your husband doesn't want to tell us what happened to him. He is bleeding internally, but we've been able to stop the bleeding.
I have been through hell in the hands of that man. That man, you see, there is a monster.
Calm down, Mrs. Johnson. I noticed that all is not well at home the day he was rushed here. I saw how you were far away from him. Irrespective of the fact that you tried to hide it from us, but you can't, because anyone who is observant can easily see that both of you had a fight.
That man turned me to a punching bag. He abuses me both verbally and physically. I only retaliated because I couldn't bear it anymore.
Where is this woman? Felicia. Felicia. Where is she?
My husband, are you back? Welcome.
No, I am not back. I am outside. Such a stupid question. Go get my food. I am famished.
I am just coming back from work. There is no food in the house, but I bought foodstuffs on my way back from work. Let me change and quickly go to the kitchen to fix us something to eat.
Look at this woman. Will you get me my food? Where are those your children? Why didn't they cook?
They went to church. As I said earlier, let me quickly fix us something to eat.
You are such a senseless woman. A reasonable woman will come back from wherever she goes to on time so that she can make food for her husband before he comes back home. You see, that job, it ends today.
You can't possibly tell me to stop going to work, Johnson. Before you married me, we agreed that I will work. I specifically told you that I don't want to be a housewife. And you concurred.
Since then, has anything good come out of you? If not to fill my house with girls who I doubt have my blood running in them.
How dare you say that to me, Johnson? I have been faithful to you since we got married. Do you think I don't know about your numerous sex escapades with different young girls in this city? Don't you ever say that to me again?
I am the head of this family, and I have made my decision. You dare not go to that workplace ever again. Try me and see what will happen.
You see, Mrs. Johnson, every family has its ups and downs. I believe that your marriage can still be saved. The challenges you are facing in your marriage today can be solved if the right people look into it. There is this friend of mine who is a shrink, I would like you and your husband to book sessions with her either as a couple or as individual. I'm sure she has the appropriate words to say to you.
Okay, doctor. Thank you very much. I really appreciate.
You are welcome. Mr. Johnson, how are you today?
I am very fine, Doc.
It is good to see you back to your feet again.
Thanks, Doc.
The day you were brought in here, I discovered that you had a fight with your wife and she is the one that gave you all those injuries you had. I had to keep quiet when you said you had a car accident. I know how you feel right now. You don't have to be ashamed of it. Besides, you have been doing the same thing to her for years. She did what she did to defend herself from the torture you've given her all these years. But one thing is sure, that woman truly loves you, and I know that you love her too.
Of course I love my wife. But...
No but, Mr. Johnson. I am not a therapist. I want you and your wife to meet this shrink who happens to be my friend. I am sure she is capable of helping you and your wife get through this challenge you are facing in your marriage.
Okay, Doc.
Come in. You are welcome. Please have a sit. You must be Mrs. Felicia Johnson.
Yes, I am the one.
You are welcome once more. My name is Mrs. Mary Phillips. This session, which is our first session, will last for 30 minutes. Through the form you filled, I can see that you are having a very big challenge in your marriage. Could you please tell me how it started?
It started when I had my third child, who is 3 years old now. My husband, who has been expecting a baby boy right from when I had my first issue, became disappointed when I gave birth to Purity. He changed drastically. He has always longed to have a male child. My last pregnancy was quite challenging. The delivery was done through cesarean section. My husband dislikes me and the children. He refers to them as my children even in front of them. Sometimes they ask me if he is truly their father. The worst part of it is that he started sleeping around with different girls in town and turned me to a punching bag. He always tells me that nothing good can ever come out of me. He even stopped me from working.
I have heard your story, Mrs. Johnson. To be frank with you, I have handled issues like yours, even the ones worse than yours. You made mention of your husband having an affair with girls. Do you have an evidence, or you are talking based on what you heard?
I don't need an evidence to believe what I heard. I know he is cheating on me. Besides, since I had my last child, he has not touched me.
Assumptions, they say, ruin things. How old is your marriage, by the way?
We are 12 years old now.
When last did you have a heart-to-heart communication with your husband? Do you often talk back at him? You see, the door of communication should be always open in your marriage. Most men don't like it when their wife talk back at them. You should always make him feel like the man he is. As for him cheating on you, you shouldn't believe whatever you hear from people. Try to get your facts correctly. When you heard that, did you ask your husband about it?
Was it really necessary to ask him about it when he hasn't touched me for some years now?
It is very necessary, Mrs. Johnson. The major problem both of you are having is lack of communication. You are both couple for a reason. You should talk about almost everything you experience in life with your spouse. Remember, both of you are one, not two. Our session has come to an end, Mrs. Johnson. Tell your husband to meet me tomorrow by 8 a.m. I will be having most of the discussions with him.
Thank you very much, madam. May God bless you. It as though a burden has been lifted off my shoulder.
You are welcome. You are welcome, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much, madam.
Our session will last for 30 minutes. I believe your wife must have told you a lot about us.
Yes, she did.
Mr. Johnson, do you really want your marriage to work?
Of course, isn't that the reason why I am here?
You had a fight with your wife few weeks ago which resulted to you being hospitalized, right? Mr. Johnson, I want you to be free and talk to me.
Yes.
You married a good woman and you should treat her like a queen that she is. There is a limit to what a woman can take. A woman can endure for years, but once it reaches that limit she will bring out that anger she has piled up for years. Your wife did what she did for self-defense. I learned you have been beating her. You even stopped her from working. Am I right?
She doesn't respect me.
No matter what a woman does, don't lay a hand on her. A man who beats his wife is not a man. He is a boy. It is only boys who do not know their right from their left that behave like that. Have you been cheating on your wife?
Why would I cheat on my wife? When people see me with my female staff members, they will rush and tell her. She will believe them without hearing from me.
I was told that you have 3 children who are girls. What do you have to say about it?
Yes, I do. Why can't I have a male child? She keeps giving me female children. Does she want to fill my home with females?
First and foremost, this is 21st century. You speak like men in the 60s. Your wife should be allowed to work. You should be grateful that you have a wife who is working and supportive as well. Embrace your children, they are your flesh and blood. Don't ever blame your wife about the gender of your children. Children are gifts from God. I will give you a book which will enlighten and teach you that men play a vital role towards the gender of a child during conception. I want you to go home and make peace with your wife, Mr. Johnson. If you treat your wife right, all this will not happen again.
Thank you very much, madam.
I shall see both of you in the next session when you must have reconciled.
My wife, I am very sorry for all the emotional torture and pain I have caused you. Please forgive me.
I have forgiven you even before you asked.
I am sorry for neglecting you all this while, my love.
It is okay, my hero. The most important thing now is that we have reconciled.
I love you, my sweetheart.
I love you more, my hero. Baby, can I start working again?
Yes, my love. I know how much you love your job. I am sorry for depriving you of that.
Wow. Thanks, baby.
You are my queen, and from now henceforth I will treat you like the queen you are. Where are my children?
They are in the kitchen.
Let's go and see them, baby.
Okay, my love.
After 2 years, Mrs. Felicia Johnson gave birth to twins, 2 boys. Their joy knows no bound. They lived happily after, glorifying God, who saved their marriage.